Alright. What's good, Dart?
Yeah, I got a pick.
It's got a fist on it.
Okay, so I'm here to react to some stuff.
Okay. So. Where do I even start? Where do I even start? I don't even know. Let's start here, I guess. Yeah, we could start here. So, I'm gonna wait for Candido actually, because once Candido comes in or like lava, then I'll put this on screen. But for now, let's see. Shion is so fun. Let me look up gameplay for her. Okay, let me react to this. First off.
Alright, so we have Season 3 of Overwatch called Into the Tiger's Den. You're going to have new hero Shion, the new map, Neon Junction, a new event from June 16th to July 16th. Do a bunch of challenges. You can earn up to 18 loot boxes, 3 epic loot boxes, 3 legendary loot boxes, etc. You'll see all the details. A community crafted event made by some of your favorite creators. So that could be a fun event to do. We can earn some fun things there.
Wait, did I just see Roadhog hook himself towards an ally?
Those loot boxes, and of course, Junkrat's loot hunt later on July 10th. Nintendo Switch will be getting a rebase and a bunch of other small changes to the game. Also, on top of all of that, Stadium is getting a bunch of changes to the point where I probably will give Stadium another shot. We have a couple of new updates to the game, one of them being Hero Ban Update, and they say the roster gives players the ability to share their favorite heroes with their teams to enable better coordination. A new type of system here with the Hero Ban called Preferred Hero, which will now contribute 3 negative votes during hero bans that would nullify one player's third place vote. This is to try to get some of the heroes that people can't play much anymore because of hero bans a little bit more playable. Obviously, you know, if the bans are a ridiculous amount of votes, then you probably won't, you know, get that hero. But I think this will allow for people to be able to play more of their heroes. Then they're adding lobby bans, which is a 5th ban slot that can break the 2 hero role limit. Unlike all other hero bans, lobby bans are calculated by adding together all votes from both teams. If both teams had at least 1 vote for a hero, and there were 10 total votes for a hero, such as 1 first place and 1 third place vote, the hero will be lobby banned. Right now, you can only ban like a certain amount. That would kind of get rid of that 2 hero role limit. The ban result page of hero bans has new visual updates to help players understand the snake draft and to display the lobby ban. The hero bans phase now displays the number of votes for each of your choices, 7 for first place, 5 for second, and 3rd for third, and the total number of votes your team has contributed together for each hero. A lot of just trying to make the hero bans a little bit less of an issue, give players a little bit more opportunity to be able to play their hero, and on top of that, get rid of a hero that nobody wants to play against. So it's just going to give you a little bit more opportunity to play your heroes. For example, like in Champion, I can't play Diva at all. I don't expect to be able to play Diva that much because I think Diva will be banned. But, you know, there's a lot of heroes like in that like 20% ban rate that this could allow you to play that hero a bit more. We'll see how it feels, and I'm sure they'll change it if it's still a problem. Officially, the top 500 Challenger live replays exist now, so you can go into the leaderboard and watch replays live. There's going to be a bit of a delay to it, so you can't like track ultimates and give an advantage to players. You can actually
Makes
pause
sense.
it. Really cool feature. I'm actually probably going to use this for some videos. Maybe watch some like people the best at their role or something like that. Would be really fun. Or if you just want to watch me feed, I'm usually on the leaderboard there, so you can watch me live feeding. Cheater compensation finally gets scaled down and fixed. There was a problem where basically it wasn't like taken into account if you ranked up. So like as you rank higher, the points that you get would be a little bit less. So it wasn't compensating for that, basically causing people to like skyrocket up on ranks. For example, I had so much cheater compensation, I got rank 1 in 6v6. So that will fix that problem. Onto the hero updates. Diva is getting a nerf. It's to her major perk, shield system. The shield conversion reduced from 150 to 100. I mean, at this point, I just expect him to nerf Diva every time. In the high ranks, obviously her win rate has plummeted, but I think they're just trying to figure out what they want to do with Diva next. And they also want people to pick the long range perk more, so they're kind of having this trade-off with perks. Domina gets kind of a cool major perk here called Corporate Retreat. While Barrier Array is active, it can be moved one time to another location. So you have an opportunity to take your static shield and move it again. And then they remove the power move perk. Doomfist, power matrix major perk, duration reduced from 1 to 0.8 seconds. That's just like the duration of your block. So a little bit less effective, maybe a little bit more counterplay now. We'll see how that goes. Hazard got a bit of a change. They say Hazard has become a strong pick across multiple scenarios due to his survivability, mobility, and lethality. Reducing Spike Guard's duration lowers his ability to sustain during engagements, while adjustments to his perk distribution reinforce a trade-off between mobility and being lethal within his major perks. Spike Guard maximum duration has been reduced from 3 to 2.5, so that's actually going to be really good for that. I mean, it's not like Hazard could stay in there forever. Anarchic Zeal minor perk has the healing increased from 30 to 40%. Reconstitution is now in the minor perk, where you get extra resource cap reduced from 50 to 25. Deep Leap, which is the perk you would normally get in the minor one, has been moved to the major, but it also increases to 20% from 15% to get a little bit further jump. That's going to be a pretty damn good perk. And explosive impalements damage has been reduced from 40 to 30, so you can have a decision, although I will say the extra range does sound pretty good, but we'll see where that goes. Ramatra, Relentless Form minor perk, has the duration bonus increased from 1 to 2 seconds now, so a little bit extra time, and has half effectiveness during annihilation. So this is just trying to get you to pick that perk. That's usually what they're trying to do. Repair perk, the healing is now from 75 to 100. So again, I'm not sure what that decision will be on that perk. The healing perk is cool and all, but like I like to use mine a little bit more aggressively. Not to say though that this could make it a little bit better. Reinhardt getting a buff. Yeah, just a buff. So fire strike damage is now 125 from 120, and the speed is now from 30 to 33. So straight up, a little more hit scanning on that. You know, a Reinhardt buff, is that the buff that Ryan needs? I don't know, but hey, it's a buff for Ryan, and I know people have been looking for that. And then we also have a buff to everybody's favorite hero that I'm sure everybody will love, Zarya. Zarya's energy degeneration rate has been reduced from 2.5 to 2 energy per second, which means that she's going to be able to keep her energy longer. This is an interesting one.
That's
because
good.
I was looking at the hero ban rates. At the time, she was one of the top banned heroes in all of Overwatch. It was actually kind of interesting. So it's I'm curious to see what that does for this. And the dev comments say Zarya has fallen below intended performance following recent reductions to her primary fire and perks. Reducing energy degeneration increases her ability to retain energy more consistently, increasing uptime while retaining her lower maximum damage output. We'll see how that one goes. Anytime I hear Zarya buffs, I get a little bit concerned because, like I said, she has a high ban rate and it can be frustrating in some ranks. Obviously not so much in like top 500, but there's a lot of ranks that will struggle against Zarya. Next up, we have a change to Anran. The Infernal Rush reduced recovery after the ability from 0.3 to 0.1. Dancing Blaze reduced recovery after the ability from 0.2 to 0.1, and they say these changes enhance the fluidity of Anran's abilities, allowing for smoother ability flow without significantly increasing her overall power.
That makes sense.
This will just feel good. I mean, Anran's been pretty
I
good
think that's
recent season. You know,
it's
if you
a
like
good
minor, she's
quality
super
of
fun to play.
life
You're
buff,
even seeing her a
but
little bit in OWCS with a
I don't know. I think
combo.
Anran
Ash,
is
the double
really good
barrel
though.
minor perk, knockback reduction of second shot removed. Viper Sting major perk, ammo gain removed. Air Burst major perk, ammo gain increased from 3 to 6. I don't play a ton of Ash, so maybe people in the comments might know a little bit better of what this does for those perks, but we'll see. That's where I'm at with that one. Bastion, the armored artillery minor perk has been removed. Not surprised. Think that this is trying to nerf the jetpack at Bastion comp a little bit more, and they give you a new minor perk called Smart Bomb, which is an A36 tactical grenade self knockback is increased by 25% and no longer damages you. So again, trying to shift people away from running that because it was basically just being used as like a second life for Bastion, and it was really effective. So Cassidy, even the odds, minor perk, healing increase from 30 to 40. And then Silver Bullet gets a bit of a nerf here. Bleed total damage over time reduced from 70 to 50, and the duration is reduced from 2.5 to 1.5. We'll see how that goes with the change. I know it was a little bit frustrating dying to Silver Bullet. Like, you wouldn't even know. It was a weird interaction. Like, sometimes you'll just like be around a corner and you'll fall over and you don't know what it was. It was a Cassidy. Echo, partial scan, minor perk, ultimate charge gain reduced from 50 to 30. I knew that was coming. It was getting ridiculous. You were getting your ultimate so quickly, and then the full salvo major perk, number of additional projectiles reduced from 3 to 2. Echo was getting a little bit tough to play against, obviously not in all ranks, but players were getting good at that, so I'm not surprised to see a bit of a tone down there. Emre just has ultimate cost increased by 10%. It was hard to keep up with Emre's ult gain, generally because the grenades add a lot of extra damage. Just kind of trying to fix that. Genji gets a bit of a buff. Deflect cooldown reduced from 10 to 8 seconds. So deflect being up a little bit more gives you a little bit more to kind of deal with. Might be frustrating. Gonna make that counterplay a little bit tougher, but we'll see how that feels. And then the meditation major perk, the healing increase from 35 to 50. So trying to kind of get that deflect going in general here. And they say lowering the Genji's deflect cooldown improves engagement frequency while also compounding the increased value of meditation perks. So pretty straightforward. So yeah, if you like the deflect, bit of a buff there. Junkrat, Bomb Voyage, attack speed increased from 25 to 35%. Not surprised. Trying to give you that hit scan, Junkrat. Pretty straightforward. May, oh no. Endothermic blaster range increased from 10 to 12 meters. Yes, you heard that right, tanks. You have to be even further away now from May. The deep freeze major perk, freeze rate increased by 30%.
We will gladly take that.
Heroes, basically trying to get people to not use it on a tank, but guess what? It will be used on a tank. The dev comments say May's primary fire range has increased to improve its effectiveness when closing distance on enemies. Deep freeze is rarely effective as low health targets are often eliminated before being frozen. Increasing its freeze rate against non-tank heroes makes it more usable without increasing the effectiveness against tanks. Reaper getting some nerfs here. Health has been reduced from 300 to 275, and lingering Wraith minor perk, the movement speed has been reduced from 40 to 30%. I assume before I read the dev note that they're doing the health decrease because Reaper's been way better with the dire triggers buff. You're doing a lot more burst damage, so this is just to kind of punish Reaper a bit more. Reaper was getting away with a lot. And the dev comments say dire triggers has increased Reaper's strength across many matchups and added more ability to kill.
Makes sense.
Combined with his survivability, this pushes him past intended durability and kill potential. Reducing his health lowers his survivability while preserving lethality. Dire triggers provide. Sierra gets a bit of a nerf here, it looks like. Helix rifle base projectile size reduced from 0.175 to 0.15. That is a nice change. It seemed like it was almost impossible to miss your shots on Sierra at times. And anchor drone speed deploy has been increased from 30 to 40. The drone deploy range increased from 14 to 16 meters, and the drone grapple range increased from 17 to 19 meters. So while they're nerfing a little bit of Sierra's projectile size, they're now making it quicker to kind of disengage and engage and go further. So kind of adds an extra layer of dynamic to that. Tight grip minor perk, improved weapon spread reduced from 100 to 70% faster. And the locked in major perk now only provides attack speed if hitting an enemy hero. A lot of people were just using it to miss. Dev comments say Sierra's projectile size is large relative to her fire rate, making her weapon too consistent. Reducing projectile size lowers this consistency, while improvements to anchor drone responsiveness increase her mobility. See how it is? I know Sierra's been a problem here in some ranks. See if these changes are enough. If they're effective, it's a step in the right direction. Sojourn, friction generators, major perk, max energy.
As long as it's a step in the right direction, that's what's most important.
If they're getting buffed or nerfed, it means that people are choosing one of the other sides really aggressively. So they're trying to get it to a more 50-50. I mean, I'm sure they're looking for more like 60-40. We'll see if that works. Tracer, the kinetic reload minor perk, ammo gain reduced from 20 to 12. They're really trying to get people not to use that perk, but here's the problem, and this is why the other perk is causing problems. It's about muscle memory, and when you make the blink distance go further, a lot of players aren't going to choose that. So I think that eventually they'll probably change that one too. Maybe people like it. Maybe I'm wrong, and people have gotten used to it, but I know a lot of people opted for this because it was a muscle memory with like blink melees and this and that, and just, we'll see. Vendetta seems to be getting an ultimate cost reduction by 15%, so you can get your ult much quicker. And onslaught movement speed boost per stack increased from 2 to 3%, and the maximum duration increased from 5.5 to 7.5 seconds. So it seems like they're trying to give Vendetta a buff again. I hope this doesn't enable a Zarya Vendetta meta again. It was something that started at the beginning of OWCS Stage 1, so I'm very curious to see how that will go. Hopefully this doesn't cause too many problems for the backline. The
it definitely will.
Previous reductions to overhead swing range and
comes
onslaught
with
movement
the
speed
territory.
Vendetta's ability to secure eliminations. Increasing Onslaught's movement speed and duration improves its effectiveness as a mid-fight tool to stay within striking distance. Her ultimate cost has also been reduced to better align with her current damage.
Dang,
So
I need
we'll see what
water.
happens. Hopefully it doesn't make her too over.
I need water. I'll be right back.
And it's great how we make each other on this wild and crazy carousel of life. Any cool how it changed the path of our lives, set us off on new adventures. This carousel takes us round and round. This labyrinth of life, you can't tell up from down. Having so much fun, we forget to check when this crossroads taking us. But hey, here we come, this carousel spins us round so much. Sometimes you don't know should you stay or get off. It's only just begun. Welcome to this wide maze of life. And it's fun how this life is giving us the chance to be a hero or a fiend. It's our choice, so let us try to make the best of what our fates have laid in our dreams. This carousel spins inside our minds. This labyrinth of life, you can't tell wrong from right. Having so much fun. Didn't see the cliff past the helping bend in a road. But hey, here we go. This carousel
All right, I'm back.
takes us higher high. The force of gravity.
Over the top. Again, I forgot what the other previous nerfs were, so we'll see how it plays out. So that's it for DPS. Obviously, a lot of DPS perk
Got some
changes.
stuff.
Now
Yo,
for support.
Candido, what's
Ana
good?
Speed Serum Minor perk has been nerfed from 40 to 30%. It was basically the go-to perk. Honestly, I still probably will use this with 30%. Brigida, the Whiplash major perk damage increased from 50 to 60. Ayari, Rapid Construction minor perk, cooldown reduction increased from 1.5 to 2 seconds. And they're just trying to shift people to use all these different perks. A lot of small changes there.
I mean,
nothing
I'm
that
cool
will
with
really
that.
Make
Like,
or break these heroes.
using
On the
different
Jetpack
perks is
Cat,
cool.
we knew this was coming. Frenetic Flight, fuel regeneration penalty while carrying a target increased from 2 times to 3 times slower. Biotic projectiles,
Yo,
damage
Lava?
and healing increased.
Okay,
from 4 to
Lava,
4.5 per
Candido,
pellet.
be
Transport
ready
shield
because we're
damage
gonna talk Xenoverse.
Duration reduced from 5 to 3 seconds. And maximum shield
Damn.
reduced from
Okay.
75 to 50. And the headbutt major perk, the speed threshold to activate lowered from 16.5 to 14 meters per second. No longer refunds fuel, and the damage is increased from 30 to 50. So obviously the Jetpack App Bastion was a big problem, so they're trying to make it so there's a bit of trade-off now. I still think like there might be problems with just like that tether, like, you know, being the way that it is. Their vision here is there's gonna be less of that.
You know what?
pushback
You were not playing when you said you were gonna
now
get
it's gonna kind of slow that down a bit
all
more,
the
but, like,
vids.
that permanent tether could still be a problem. We'll see.
Hey, I got you. I got you though. Hey, Lava, we're gonna talk Xenoverse 2. I mean, Xenoverse 2 and 3. I might need to download Xenoverse 3. I mean, Xenoverse 2, just to have some conversations about it.
A target in reducing the strength of transport shielding weakens this strategy, while weapon improvements increase effectiveness outside of lifeline. We'll see how it goes. Juno, faster blaster major perk, shots per second increase from 20 to 22.
Okay.
So
Actually, screw this. Let's get straight into these links. I'm the news guy for a reason. Let's start with numeral 1.
Here are the top 4 vanguards that you need to learn how to
Top
play in
4
order to win your
vanguards.
games in Marvel Rivals. Coming from somebody who knows ball.
I mean, Magneto, Groot, definitely. I feel like Groot is a tank that can counter pretty much any
top of his
comp,
amazing utility,
as
he
long as
also
you
has
play
high
right.
damage potential. However, the best part about Groot is going to be his ability to create a synergy with his team. Not only are you able to charge up your ultimate extremely fast playing a character like Groot, but the value
And
that you
also,
bring
his
on
ult can
ultimate is
get a
immeasurable.
lot of
In third
people
place,
like
we have
caught
Emma
off guard.
Frost. With Emma Frost being one of the strongest vanguards in the game right
Emma
now, it makes it
Frost,
a no-brainer
definitely.
that this is one of the characters that you must learn how to play if you want a main vanguard. Not only does she offer strong backline protection, but her ability to swap between two different playstyles makes her a strong, well-rounded
Yeah, she can
character.
she
However,
can
keep in
do
mind that her
like
shielding capabilities aren't the best,
main
and she does
tank
have a high
and
skill ceiling.
brawl.
So
She can
remember that
brawl very
positioning is
good,
going to be very vital to
and
prevent her
she
from
can
being
counter a
overwhelmed.
lot of
In
characters
second place,
as
we have
well.
a tie between Thing and Thor. I believe that
Thing
learning
and
one of
Thor.
these tanks
You
is
know what?
100%
Yeah,
necessary.
I'm
However,
be
which one is
real.
gonna be entirely
The only reason you would use Thing is against a good Black Panther. Also, Lava, how you doing, man? What you been up to? Also, let me send you my night fight for you to react to. Bet, 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 bet. In 15 minutes of my first and only night attempt, I am still riding this high. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that.
up to you and your preference. If you feel that your
Okay,
playstyle
now
revolves more
Thor.
around being a
I feel
DPS
like
tank,
the
then I highly
reason
suggest
you would
learning how to
learn
play
Thor
He completely
is
dominates in
to.
1v1 scenarios with his
I'm
high
be
damage
real.
potential
Learning
and his
Thor
frequent
will
rolls.
help
On
you
top of
fight
that, his
against
overhealth capabilities
different
increase his
PvP characters.
self-sustain. And
I mean,
moving on to Thing,
different
although his self-sustain
melee
isn't as good
characters.
as Thor's, his massive health pool, close range rallying power, and
Now,
high-value
number
crowd
one
control
tank
makes
to
him an
learn
extremely
has to be
valuable vanguard to
Magneto,
have in your front
right?
line. However, both of these vanguards are definitely situational picks. Although both are very good at dealing with dive characters, Thor is going to be a little bit better at handling the enemy's backline and DPS, while Thing is going to be better at taking care of the enemy's vanguards if they're problematic in your game. And in first place, Doctor Strange is going to be the best possible vanguard that you can learn if you're trying to
Okay,
play Vanguard.
you know
Not
what?
only is
I
his
can see
damage
that.
and
I can
killing
see that.
potential one of the best when it comes to the vanguard category, but his unparalleled utility and team protection is some of the best in the game.
I feel like
Magneto
Magneto would be the number one pick because when it comes to poke, okay, when it comes to poke, learning Magneto is important. Helping you mill with Secret Boss of Chapter 2. Gonna eat dinner real quick? Okay. Hey, go ahead. Eat dinner, bruh. Eat dinner. I want to say number one can be both Doctor Strange and Magneto. Because both tanks, I'm gonna be real, it's beneficial as a tank main to know one of these. Because Magneto, you learn because there are multiple ults that Magneto by himself can counter. Because like Star-Lord ult, Punisher, like you can just counter range characters. And you can protect your team better than any other tank, really. Now, Strange has a lot of utility and a lot of things in his kit where he can handle certain things. Like, Strange can fly and handle flyers. Strange has good burst damage. And learning, I want to say one thing you should practice with Strange is portals. Because when 90% of the time you are switching to Strange to portal last minute, this will happen a lot. But I would say it's like a mix between Strange and Magneto, personally. All right, second link.
If you don't know, now you know. Here are the top 4 vanguards that you should be playing against Cyclops.
All right.
In 4th place, we have Hulk. Not only does Bruce Banner
Honestly, yeah, I'd say yes for Hulk.
Cyclops, but when using his bubble ability, if timed correctly, you can mitigate a lot of the damage from Cyclops' ultimate. And keep in mind that this can be done with a lot of vanguards who have shielding capabilities. Just make sure that you're putting up your shield after the laser portion of his ultimate. And the vanguard coming in 3rd place is going to be Angela. Not only does her mobility allow her to play in the correct
I would say
range of
Angela's
Cyclops,
more number
but her
2,
kidnap
but
capabilities makes her a top
maybe
player
that's
as
just
well.
me.
And with our second vanguard, Doctor Strange is going to be a strong choice against Cyclops. Not only does his high damage potential make him a strong pick, but his shielding capabilities are a must when playing a character that relies so heavily on poke damage. This
See,
is also
but the
going to be
thing
another
is,
Vanguard that can block a lot of the damage
Cyclops
from
has
Cyclops'
better
ultimate if
better
you're timing your
mobility
shields
when it comes
correctly.
down to it.
And with the number 1 Vanguard to play against Cyclops, a Rogue is going to be the best choice. It's almost as if her kit was meant to perfectly counter somebody like Cyclops. Not only
can
does
see
her
that.
mobility allow her to
Yeah.
continuously apply pressure
Yeah,
and
I
stay
agree.
on him,
I
but
agree.
her blocking capabilities also mitigates a lot of the damage.
I
that
won't
you can
lie.
produce on
I
anyone.
feel like Magneto
But the cherry
sucks
on
this
top of the cake,
season.
the ability that you steal from him is going to be
I feel like
really useful,
Magneto
so
is
it's a
not
great
good
ability
this
to have
season,
in your
can't he,
kit.
though?
Let me know in the comments what Vanguards you personally have had success using against Cyclops. If you
What's the problem with balance? Every once in a while, someone asks me what I
Oh,
think the
here we
worst
go.
balance change in Marvel Rivals history is. Most of the time, I just default to Self-Shield or something personal like 2 drones or Adam's Flight. But after giving it some thought, there's a clear-cut answer. Self-Shield caused a ton of problems for the game, but it was highly requested and came into season with a lot of other issues. So tell me, what's Rocket's excuse? The Season 2 Rocket rework is Zhu Young's worst work. Not only was it a bad change in and of itself, but it also started the 2 worst trends in Rivals design. Rocket was the first strategist to have his ult forced into the defensive circle box, along with being the first hero to get his skill expression lobotomized. And the worst part of all is that the rest of Season 2 is great. It's honestly one of the strongest balance patches we've ever gotten if you don't include Roadkill Raccoon. What's the problem with balance? Every once in a while...
Okay, balance. Now, what I've seen is a lot of people have, well, there's a hive mind thing about the balance changes, because there are certain people that believe whatever they say is wrong with the balance is like what everybody should agree on. Me personally, overshields. And I'm not talking about the shields you can just, that characters have. Like, for example, Invisible Woman, Invis. I'm talking about characters who constantly get shields that don't deserve them. Because I'm going to be real, certain... I don't know. Certain characters don't deserve shields. Like, for example, if you're using a character that is on the #1 ban list, or if you're using a character who's been broken since launch, hella, and they get shields just for pressing a button, do they deserve it? Like, for example, Phoenix, Hela, should not get shields. Like, a character like Mr. Fantastic deserves a shield because he's basically a tank in the DPS role. You could say the same for Iron Fist. Iron Fist is a melee character, doesn't get that much. But if you're a poke character, and poke is literally the strongest right now, you should not get shields by pressing a button. Tell me if I'm bugging. And I know people are going to say, oh, but tanks get shields. Do you realize how quick it is to kill a tank? It's so easy to kill tanks. But yet you have DPS who can outlive tanks. Like, Thor doesn't even get good shields. And I get it. Oh, he does high damage for a tank. But he's one of the easiest to kill. He just has decent mobility. And people talk about how broken Captain America is, but just realize if he had no way of getting shields, especially from his ultimate, he'd suck. Like, Devil Dino gets shields very, very quick. And he has a good bubble shield that is able to protect him and his allies. But the nerf, the moment that shield goes down, everybody bursts him. Do you have your phone? Okay, give me 1 second.
And it's from how this life is given us the chance to be a hero or a fiend. It's our choice, so let us try to make the best of what our fates have laid in our dreams. This carousel spins inside our minds. This labyrinth of life, you can't tell wrong from right. Having so much fun. Didn't see the cliff past the helping bend in the road. But hey, here we go. This carousel takes us higher high. The force of gravity, the river that a fire burning in your heart. Welcome to this wide blaze of light. Thinking you got us freaking. Thinking you got like raps. Oh, how it all works now. Body spinning around and round. Count your up from down. Spinning inside your mind. Count your wrong from right. Nothing to do but let it go. Enjoy the ride. This carousel takes us round and round. This crazy maze of life. You can't tell up from down. Having so much fun, we forget to ask where this magic's taking us. But hey, here we come. This carousel spins you round and round. You really don't know why, but it makes you wanna shout. We've only just begun. Let's enjoy this wide maze of life.
Okay, so back to the balance. Back to the balance. What's up, Zach? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Did you see it? No. What clips? All right. So when it comes to the problems with balance, Devil Dinosaur proved a lot of things. First off, people wanted him nerfed because one, healer mains didn't like that they had to heal him so much. That's one. Two, DPS mains said he did too much damage as a tank. Notice every time they've done that. Every time there's a strong tank. But you know, nobody likes to bring that up. 3. He has too much survivability as a tank. Look at Captain America. He still has the best survivability of all the tanks. But Devil Dino's the problem, even though he's the biggest hitbox. Now, was Devil Dino an issue? To an extent, yes, he was. Did he deserve the nerfs? Some of them. But they nerfed one aspect that he truly needed, which was his shield. Now, you can kill him fast, but what people don't realize is that you have to switch to poke to counter Devil. Because here's the thing. She dies quick. You have somebody that can shoot him from a range. Squirrel Girl, Punisher, Namor, Hella. If you got... Look, I'm going to say this. If you play Phoenix into Devil Dino, you're having a field day. Because of the buff to Phoenix, she does more damage to tanks, and nobody realizes this. And notice, tank mains have been complaining about how strong the DPS are, but realize our voice will never be heard. Our voice will never be heard. And you could say, oh, well, we gotta hope these content creators that can talk to the devs can put something in, like can say something to the devs to make them do some type of change. I won't lie. The real way to get change, the ban phase. If you really want change, the ban phase will prove it. Devil Dino was one of the most banned, and you see what happened. Gambit was one of the most bans. You saw what happened. They got nerfed. So, if you really want change, stop looking at a content creator. Because the way you get change is to legitimately control the ban base. You have to show that these characters are issues. The reason why Hella hasn't gotten a nerf, or Phoenix hasn't gotten a nerf, is because you barely see them get banned. When you really think about it, you barely see them get banned. But the characters that are always banned, you see always get changes to them.
And it's great how we make each other on this wild and crazy carousel of life. Any cool how it changed the path of our lives, set us off on new adventures. This carousel takes us round and round. This labyrinth of life, you can't tell us from that.
But yeah, there is multiple problems with the balance of the game.
What's the problem with balance? Everyone's
Okay, so got there. Here. All right, so Xbox.
So,
All right, Leg, did you see it? Those mischief clips. The anime with clowns, I don't know its name, just recently seen the shorts. No, I haven't seen it. Yes, the Xenoverse 3 mechanics, the new and enhanced mechanics. I did see that. We were talking about it last stream. We're going to go more in depth with it this stream, Zach. Okay. Now, let's see what Young Ye has to talk about.
let me get this straight. You announce Senua at Xbox Game Showcase. New entry in the Hellblade series from Ninja Theory. And then days later, you announce that you're going to shut down that studio? What the F? Like, what's going on?
Okay, I don't understand. I don't understand why Xbox did this. Oh, I just watched Slow's video. Slow plays. I mean, I just looked up the info. I didn't watch a video on it. Even though I already got the gist of what everything is. It's just some unique stuff. But again, we'll talk about it later.
What is this? I mean, that was like one of the marquee flagship announcements at that showcase. And then not even like about a week later, you say you're going to try to shut down the studio? Let's break this down because there's a lot going on here. Just a lot happening at Xbox in terms of studio shutdowns. And yeah, this is just all not a good look at all for this company. You know, Ashley Sharma was on a roll with some like good announcements. But like with these latest developments, a lot of people are starting to question once again the future of Xbox. So in my last video titled Xbox in Crisis as they prepare for reset, I talked about this blog post right here alongside other elements that highlight the challenges that Xbox is facing as they move forward. And Ashley Sharma and Matt Booty posted the following statement that they sent out to employees on June 10th, 2026. And they talked about challenges, how they're competing.
I made a spare save for the night fight, so if we want to torture someone, we can do so. Hey, that could be fun. Oh, so Lava, wait, Candido, are you here? Because you know what? Should we get into it? Let me know. Should we just get into it? All right, so Lava, Candido, Zach, let me know. Should we get into this already? Sure? Okay. Let me put on fitting music. Let me put on some fitting music. I posted the translation in Discord. Okay. Okay, I got the translation in the background. Let's see. What music would be best here? I should put on something Dragon Ball. Yeah, something Dragon Ball would make sense. Maybe. Yeah, I think this is fine. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So Xenoverse 3. So what it reads is the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 battle system. A portion of it revealed first and explained. Amazingly, part of the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 battle system is already being revealed. Player characters can pursue their own way of fighting while learning the battle styles of various races. Move attributes brings new strategic depths to battle. So there is guard penetration, a move that pierces the opponent's guard and deals damage to both health and ki. Ki drain. So I'm guessing this is ki drain. A move that makes full use of area attacks and special abilities to greatly reduce the opponent's ki. So break critical hit, which I'm guessing is this. A big move driven in during a key break. It deals massive damage together with a special animation. Now, just to talk about these three, notice how they haven't talked about stamina. No talk about stamina, by the way. So keep that in mind. It's one of the links? Okay. Soul change is the change your fighting style likely of mentors, custom partners if they are still connected. It seems like it. So just notice. No talk about stamina at all. What does that mean? Potentially they remove stamina from Xenoverse 3. Or maybe stamina is changed to something else. Either way, there is no talk about stamina, just ki and health. Ki and health so far. So, let's see. Special moves. The customizable battles familiar from the Xenoverse series. With those favorite moves of yours, infinite possibilities are born in battle. Omega Heat Magnetron. This ability right here. Kaioken Assault. Right here. And obviously the Gallic Gun. Now what's big about this? Omega Heat Magnetron is not in Xenoverse 2 at all. That's a whole new move from Jiren. So keep that in mind. We just see a whole new move from Jiren. But it looks like it's not an ultimate attack. It seems to be a regular attack. So keep that in mind. Because that means Omega Heat Magnetron might be a regular ability. And if anybody remembers, it was the move that Jiren used right after he used Power Wave. So he used Power Wave and then Overheat, Omega Heat Magnetron. So he charges it in one hand and then punches it forward, making a giant blast. Characters getting more moves, presets. Yes, it seems like. So again, that's all this. This is the only new ability. Kaioken Assault seems to have something unique to it. So potentially they added more to Kaioken Assault. Maybe it ends with a Kamehameha or something. And then Gallic Gun. This might be a full power Gallic Gun because of the change in the camera angle. So this might be when you charge Gallic Gun fully. Oh, I read the last two, but I'll read it again. Well, I read it in my mind. Xenoverse 3, possibly going the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series style. Yeah, we'll get into that. Characters getting more moves, presets, yes. And then this next one, which is very interesting, called Soul Assist. Borrow the power of legendary super warriors and corner your opponents with brilliant teamwork. So it seems like we can do... So this is the Soul Assist system, which I'm guessing whoever your mentor is, you can have as an assist if you have their abilities. So if you have any of their abilities equipped, they come out and support you like that. Which is very interesting. Very interesting. This is also Saiyan Saga Vegeta. Keep that in mind. Saiyan Saga Vegeta. So we have Saiyan Saga Vegeta's Gallic Gun. I'm guessing this is Saiyan Saga to Namek Saga Kaioken Goku. And this is Jiren. This is the only super. This is the only Dragon Ball Super attack we have. And again, another thing we have to talk about is this is a whole new snow area. Whole new snow area, which the only two snow areas we know about are from movies. One of them is Dragon Ball Super Broly, and the other one is Android 13. So, whole new snow area. That's something to talk about. Now let's get into Awoken skill. When an Awoken skill is active, the player character transforms into a Super Saiyan. Their abilities are greatly strengthened. Now, something that I wanted to point out is that look at the stance. This is completely different from Xenoverse 2's version of Super Saiyan. Because that is Super Saiyan Goku's first time going Super Saiyan. That's his stance. So, we might have custom stances for each transformation. Keep that in mind. Custom stances are going to be a whole new thing. Maybe Kaioken Assault could go into times 20 Kaioken Kamehameha. Maybe it's a super. Who knows? Maybe it could combo into that easier. I feel like Kaioken Assault usually uses 100, like a bar of ki plus stamina, right? And I think they also updated Kaioken to like take off health. Maybe they're gonna give characters more unique charge ki blast, potentially. I see it. So just know, Lava, Zack, Candido, potentially every not Super Saiyan, every transformation in the game is going to have a unique animation. So if Super Saiyan 1 is Goku, Super Saiyan 2 might be Gohan's stance. And Super Saiyan 3 could be Goku as well. And then we could have custom animation for Super Vegeta 1 and 2. And we might have one for Super Saiyan Blue and Ultra Instinct and Beast. Granted, we don't know if these transformations are coming back. They would be dumb. Don't do it. Add all of the transformations from Xenoverse 2. Now, here's the thing. Should Kaioken as a transformation drain health? I feel like it should just drain stamina. But again, it seems like we haven't even seen the word stamina yet. So keep that in mind. Based on fighting styles or what Super Saiyan you're using. Yeah, maybe future Super Saiyan could be Trunks. I feel like they'll go with Trunks more than Gohan, but who knows. So on to the next thing. Soul Change. Let the soul of a super warrior dwell in your body and unleash superpower. With overwhelming strength, turn the tide of battle all at once. So it seems like with the Soul Change, whoever is your mentor, you can transform into them. Potentially. Very interesting. Now, the thing that makes it interesting is that I saw this, right? This is Xenoverse 2, Trunks. And this is Xenoverse 3. Now, you can't tell me this doesn't look like Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 graphics. That literally looks like Budokai Tenkaichi 3 graphics right there. Yeah, they brought back Z Assist. So maybe you can choose to transform into a character, but what I want to know is this like a time thing? Is this a time thing? That's what's mainly bothering me. Because I want to know, can you transform into a character for the whole match? Or is it only a set amount of time? Because that's kind of important to know, you know? It's literally night and day, bro. Like, bro, this is literally Xenoverse. I mean, not Xenoverse. This is literally Budokai Tenkaichi 3 graphics, bro. But it look, I would low key say this looks better. This is more. It's like modern Budokai. And no, I'm not talking Sparking Zero. This looks a modern Budokai Tenkaichi. I kind of like it. Maybe Soul Change is more like a duo rush thing. Maybe, but the way it's seeming is that you can transform into, like, look, you see the thing that she's holding? It's kind of like you can transform into the soul of the character. Interesting. So, the final thing, and the most important thing, let's be real, battle style. With battle style, the player character's stance also changes. The attacks they unleash look like they will change too. Which is the most important, because first off, we get Vegeta's stance, which, you know, pretty good. Now, the most important is we get Trunks' stance, and oh, she has a sword. Now, this has me excited because whoever your character is, you could get their moveset. And I'm going to just say this. Think about the possibilities of whoever is base roster. If look, I'm having Deborah's moveset. I would have Deborah's moveset, Bojack's moveset. Imagine Janemba's moveset. And real quick, look at that stance. Is her hand like this? Or is her hand like this? Like, it... You know what I mean? It doesn't... It feels like this stance looks like, Trunks... This Trunks' usual stance from Xenoverse 2. Because Tapion's stance, his hand is right there next to the sword, always. And, you know, one of his arms is, like, down here. Because Trunks' stance is like this. But regardless, this is the most important news here. This is the most important news. Because we can have a weapon equipped to us. Do you know what this means for customization? We can make any character with this. Now, the thing that makes it also very interesting is that they say the attacks they unleash look like they will change too. Which I would pretty much say confirms you get a set amount of abilities from these characters. Like, their combo strings. Because it wouldn't make sense for you to get the stance and not get their abilities as well. Especially since We got Trunks. The Trunk Soul gives you a whole sword that you can use to knock back somebody. That should be telling by itself. Raging Blast 1 graphics? Okay, let me check that. Okay, is it right? Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let me look at Raging Blast. Maybe there will be variants of combat styles like DBZ, Dragon Ball Super Trunks with sword, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super Trunks without the sword. I can see that. Alright, let me go to where is Trunks? Sword Trunks, there we go. I just want to know what our CAC options are looking like. Now, Lava. The thing that caught my eye was part of the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 battle system is already being revealed. Player characters can pursue their own way of fighting. Player characters? Why do they say that? See, I wish this one had Trunks. That for me is make or break. I feel that. Especially if they had Dragon Ball Z Trunks presets from the Cell from the Cell second form and perfect form, Broly and BoJack movie. That'd be cool. I would like that. Yeah, Xenoverse 3 Trunks is skinny. I mean, he's kind of skinny here. This looks like. If Xenoverse 3 has more PvE stuff to do, I'll play. It probably will, Dark. Yeah, it does seem like... It does have the Budokai Raging Blast feel. Compared to this oil. Let you pick what combos are from. I feel like that also depends on who your soul changes. Like, you can choose the soul of a super warrior. Now, remember the first time Xenoverse 3 was revealed. They showed a bunch of characters like Cell, Frieza, Broly, Beerus. You can probably choose between all of those. This opens the gate to a lot. Like, being able to have the fighting style of these characters would be very interesting. But now, something else we gotta talk about with this is that Jane 1000 seems to be a character you can also play. So maybe these two could potentially be the characters you could choose from. Like, he's the male option, she's the female option. But like, we haven't heard these characters talk yet. Like, at all. They haven't even said Kamehameha yet. Yo, they might Candido. It seems like it. Now, another thing is, look at this thing. This is a close up of the new monsters we can fight, apparently. Yeah, apparently these are going to be the new monsters we're going to be able to fight as well. Sorry about the yawn. Oh, to your Super Souls. Ah, okay. So, actually, speaking of which, maybe Super Souls are gonna be the way we can do soul change. Like, whoever's character's Super Soul we have equipped, we can transform into them and gain their abilities. That could be good. That could be very good. I want to know who is base roster, and like, who can we get anybody's soul? Anybody's? Because I need to know, so I think it's pretty much confirmed that John 1000 is a Saiyan, potentially. I'm hoping, because if he's not a Saiyan, that means anybody can get Super Saiyan. Yeah, it seems like these are the new weak minions that we'll be fighting throughout the story. But also, we are pretty much superheroes. Like, we're part of a superhero organization that fights off enemies, potentially. Or fights off disturbances. I'm surprised we haven't got a DLC trailer on Xenoverse 2 yet. That's kind of crazy to me. We still haven't. Why are they not showing the CAC aspect? That's the part that's like kind of pissing me off. And then they say player character. It might be a bargain sale, Candy, though. It might be. Okay, where's that vid? Hold on, I gotta scroll back up. Sorry, I've been vibing to the music. You can play the audio? I mean, I don't think it's copyright. I hope not. Yo, how do you... Oh, nah. I could not do this fight. Yeah, I could not do this flight. I would need to do this in the morning when I'm right off of coffee. Like literally right off of coffee. I don't have the reaction time without coffee. I won't lie to you, bro. Oh, when they come back? Nah, that's bull. Nah, I'd crash out. I'd crash out for real, bro. Okay, so the music. Just so you know, Lava, the music here is very. It's not loud. I was talking to Isaiah in the background. Oh, all good, all good. What you mean? There's a worse sword tunnel? Hello. I would, I'd crash out. You'll get kick out of them? First time dodges? Ah, I see. You accidentally nerfed yourself. What do you mean? Oh, wait. Oh. Rose is died. Is dead. Well, damn. The other links are more Rivals news. Okay, we'll get to that. Right now, Candido. Okay, what do we want Doom to be in Rivals? I personally want him to be a main tank, like a shield tank. Oh, that's cheap. That's cheap. People want him to be all three roles. I think leaving that for Deadpool would be the best. Just let the tanks get Doom. I won't lie. Like he should be exclusive to only tank mains. Look up Dark Souls 3, the boss. Just say F this bot. Alright, I'll look that up. Yeah, I saw that act. My god. Yeah, I could not do this, bro. As you see him, if Doom is strong, so aggressive. He needs to be nerfed day one. No. If they want to keep that same energy, Doom should not be nerfed until the end of that season. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Alright, Zach. I feel that. The sand spin? Oh, they brought that back? Of course they did. Oh my god. I don't know how I no-hit this attack. I've never taken no damage from a washing machine attack. How? Bro, if that was me, I would have got hit. They're already not keeping the same energy with Cyclops. Where's the outcry? It's because people like Cyclops. There will be no outcry. Lava. That is way too much for a final attack. What is that? That is crazy. Hey, Lava, shout out to you for doing that on the first try, though.
Hello everyone, it's me again, Steve Dojo here, back to more Dragon Ball Xenoverse free information. And yes, we have the first official gameplay screenshot of Dragon Ball Xenoverse free, and I actually have a full translation on the side that I will put on the screen every now and then. You guys should be able to see it right now, so I'll tell you everything that's going to be actually on this scan. And holy crap, there are a ton of new mechanics in this game, dude. Okay, so to start off with, the stuff at the top says, because of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, you can experience new unknown battles. That's what this big text here says. And it says it's a faster pace than ever. The battle system in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 opens up a whole new level of combat. Choose your favorite characters and playstyles and create your own unique battles. Almost sounds like the Hero Coliseum thing, but let's just ignore that for now, right? The thing on the side here, where we see the Super God Fist animation, because yes, there are actually new and returning attacks in this game. So the thing we see here is called a breakaway, apparently. Escape when you're in a pinch. Break free from your opponent's grip with a well-timed breakaway. So this might be Limit Burst actually used as a well-thought-out mechanic. It could just be a translation for evasive skills. Who knows? I have seen one translation refer to this as a break hit, where you do a big attack during a key break, which I'd assume is a stamina break, and then a special animation plays out. That looks far more like what's going on inside this screenshot here, which is why I can't wait for the trailer, because the trailer will actually explain all of this in full. Now, there are two translations for this one as well. I'm going to explain this translation first, because this one makes less sense, but there's still a chance for it, because it came up twice when I did it. This mechanic could be called Key Drain, a move that uses a full use area of attack and special abilities to greatly reduce the opponent's ki or shut down powerful enemy attacks, which I think is a really weird thing for a Kamehameha to do, which is why I'm going to explain the second one, which is really, really promising. But the second thing here is actually huge, because you guys are seeing a Kamehameha, right? Right? That's what you're seeing. But apparently what it actually says here is Ki Blast Clash. Yes, we finally, in 10 years, we finally got beam clashes in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Holy heck. Guys, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell to stay updated on everything Dragon Ball related, because I'm gonna, oh my god, this game is so beautiful, man. It did take a long time, but we finally got beam clashes in the game, man. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and please leave a like for beam clashes. That took so long. But the information here says, clash with your opponent's Ki Blast, push back their attack, and turn the tide of battle. Which again, yeah, that is a full translation. That's not a mistranslation. That's not a cope. That is directly the description for a beam clash. So even though you can't really see the other enemies blast too well in the screenshot, that is what's going on here. It is a beam clash. The third image here is called God Break. Now, even though this kind of looks like an evasive, like if you guys played Xenoverse 1 and 2, this looks like Break Strike, but apparently this is a God Break. So that means it's 100% different from the first thing, which was a breakaway. But a God Break here is break through your opponent's guard and create an opening for your next attack. So I think what they mean is that the stamina break mechanic has been redone. I said it would be redone because in Xenoverse 2, it is very cool, don't get me wrong, but it's still extremely wonky. There are times where it just kind of fails or messes up, but it seems like this time they're giving it like a really big presence or impact, so that way it's absolutely guaranteed. The only thing left to fix is the connection, because when you fix the connection, that will literally just solve all the problems with like things like guard break and breakaways. But that is the look, that is the less interesting part. Let's go on to ultimate skills. This part down here says ultimate
Sleepy
skills.
boy.
Talk about this part
Bro,
in
the
depth.
coffee
They
coffee
actually
that I
show
drank,
skills. And some skills
it's
look like they've been
dwindling.
completely redone. A great example is even if when you look at the stuff like the Kamehameha, that beam
Combo
effect is
breaker,
not like Xenoverse 1
but
and 2.
actually
You
not
can
a
say the
cheesy
Super
life
God Fist
alert.
is definitely
Bro.
referenced from Xenoverse 1 and 2.
Haven't we been
but the beam
asking for
effect
that
from the
for
Kamehameha
like a
is
minute?
entirely different, and the same thing here you can actually see with the Gallic gun.
Sans
now
is
down
more
here it
difficult.
actually does
Sans
describe
will
these as
always
ultimate
be more
skills
difficult.
specifically. It might just mean special moves overall, because one of these is Gallic
At
gun,
least
and
you
that's
can
not an ultimate
predict.
We literally
You
have an
can
ultimate version
you
called
can at
Super
least
Galaxy Gun.
predict
And another one of
this.
these is Jiren's big move, and
this
that is an
night.
ultimate attack. So again,
Like
translations
for
are a tiny bit
Sans,
wonky, but
you
this
have
is
to
stuff that
hope
we will
that
see in the trailer. So when they
everybody
finally
logs
actually
in.
release that, whenever, we'll finally get clarification on all of this. Unleash powerful ultimate attacks unique to the Dragon Ball Xenoverse series. And the
Extra
ultimate attacks we see
Java
here are Gallic Gun,
in the mug?
Justice
Maybe.
combination, which does look a tiny bit different from the way it looked in Xenoverse 2. I do want to
Justice
mention that some translations
combination?
also called this Kaioken, but even still, my point doesn't change.
That looks
Kaioken has
way
not had a
more-
knockdown in it ever in Xenoverse 1 or 2, so they have
Yes,
repurposed
Kaioken
whoever's
doesn't have a
Justice combination of
knockdown, but
Kaioken,
that
a lot
looks
of Strike
more
Supers
like
got completely
Kaioken than
redone.
anything.
And the final thing is actually Jiren's ultimate attack, Overheat Magnetron. At first I didn't really believe it, but if you actually look very carefully into that screenshot,
these are
not only is the
ultimate
Key Blast a
skills.
big yellow orangey Key Blast, but the Time Patroller's pose specifically is Jiren's exact pose when he's firing it. So yes, obviously DLC ultimate attacks from Xenoverse 2 basically have confirmation for being fully transferred over to Xenoverse 3, because I want to remind you guys the closest thing we have to Overheat Magnetron, which is full power destruction. So that does mean that some of these moves might get renamed to their more lore accurate version, or they might get redone entirely like Justice combination, but Xenoverse 2 DLC attacks will be in Xenoverse 3 from the beginning, at least based on this one. So that's actually really refreshing to see. That's really nice to see, because a lot of people doom posting that they wouldn't be able to transfer everything, but apparently they could. And this part here is actually really exciting. As a Xenoverse 1 player, this part really means a lot to me. You can actually see that it's Vegeta and the Time Patrol are both going for Key Blast at the same time, and that's because this is a Soul Assist. These used to be called Z Assists in Xenoverse 1, and in Xenoverse 2 they were completely removed. Xenoverse 2 does reference them, but you literally cannot access them in the game. It's impossible. But Xenoverse 2
So we have
does reference
beam
them. They
clashes
finally made the
in some
return
way.
in Xenoverse 3, and they are called Soul Assists. Call in allies to support you with powerful Soul Assist attacks. Now keep in mind, the description is call in allies. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be done. It might be its own separate button. I want to point out that it's next to Ultimate Attack when it comes to the categories, because these categories are very important. The top category is basically different new mechanics, right? We got the breakaway, the beam clash, the guard break. The middle category is ultimate attacks, and the last category is customization, but we'll get to that when we get there, okay? And because this is right next to ultimate attack, I do think Soul Assist is going to be its own separate independent button press. I don't think it'll take up any other slots that we have. Again, these screenshots are obviously from a Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 trailer that they have just not released yet. They gave us the screenshots before the trailer. Really weird, I wasn't expecting that, but it is the way it is. And Soul Assist seems to be its own separate button press, because you call in allies to do powerful soul attacks. And Vegeta doesn't look like a ghost like when you call in Z Assist in Xenoverse 1. He looks like a fully fledged guy. So it might actually just be straight up, you can just call in any mentor, any character you have high stats or bonds with, to just assist in one of your attacks specifically. Kind of like a dual ultimate, but it doesn't take up a whole ultimate attack slot. It's just with you permanently. Oh boy, and this last bottom slot is extremely interesting. I really want to talk about everything, but I'm going to actually start with the transformation, because the transformation, while transformations in Dragon Ball are very cool, this is actually the least interesting of all the things that they showed at the very end here, which is insane to say. So transformations in this game are no longer called awoken skills like they were in Xenoverse 2, they are now called awakening skills in Xenoverse 3. And the description here says, transform and unleash overwhelming power, awakening skills can turn the tide of battle. Obviously, the only one we see is Super Saiyan here, but guys, look at how fresh this looks. The aura effects, the golden glow, finally, after 10 years, spiked up Super Saiyan hair. Oh my god, Xenoverse 3 is breaking so much ground for Xenoverse series. It's actually so generational. This is also going to apply, obviously, to Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan 2, even unique hairstyles for Super Saiyan 3 and 4, because remember, Dragon Ball The Breakers did it, so Xenoverse 3 can do it. Not only does the sky darken itself when you do these attacks, I do want to point out the sky is bright in other screenshots. So this isn't obviously like, you know, any kind of delusion. Also, I want to point out ice stage. Guys, can you see that in the background? I didn't even mention that. We got a whole new ice stage and it looks humongous. I want to point out that there's a surface on this ice stage up here, but there also seems to be an underground cavern-like area or mountains that we can see in the middle slot. And then in the last slot, we can see a bit more of this icy environment. I think that's really cool. But back to the transformations. You can see that the sky actually does darken when you do these transformations. So they're kind of like Xenoverse 1, where they're treated like ultimate attacks because they affect, you know, the world around you when you do them. But it's probably going to still be in real time because Xenoverse has always been about real time. And I gotta say, the Super Saiyan effects look really clean, and these are just still images. This isn't even a moving picture yet. And if it's anything like Overheat Magnetron, we will probably be seeing all of the DLC transformations return in this game. I don't know if we'll get Ultra Instinct at launch. I hope we do. But stuff is going to get really crazy because they're going to need new transformations to give us as DLC. But I do want to remind you guys, this game does come out the same time that the Dragon Ball Super Moro arc comes out. So most likely any transformations that they introduce in the anime will just become the DLC transformations for all custom characters. So that's actually pretty nice to see. And the second thing, again, and this will finally prove it so you guys can stop arguing with me about it in the comment section, soul change. Now, what is a soul change? I'll just read out the description for you guys, and I'll let you guys figure out what this sounds like to you. Fuse with powerful warriors and fight with their strength. Activate powerful forms and turn the tides of battle. Soul change. You transform into other people and you use their power. That kind of sounds like Dragon Change, kind of like from another game. The game that I've always told you guys was supposed to be the original Xenoverse 3. This finally confirms it, right? No.
Brother, this change is literally Limit Burst. This is basically Limit Burst, but we turn into a whole new character.
No one's going to cope with me. No one's going to finally argue with me anymore. The mechanic is literally the exact same name. The only thing they did is change from Dragon to Soul. That's it. But it's literally the exact same mechanic. Now, I'm not sure how this works because realistically, we're just going to want to play our custom characters 24/7, right? But I have a theory. Maybe you actually can't play original characters in this game. Maybe the only way to play Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, Omega Shenron, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Transforming DBS Broly, all of these unique characters is with a soul change mechanic. And again, just like Soul Assist, because I want to point out they're calling things Soul now. In Xenoverse 1 we had Z, in Xenoverse 2 we had Super, in Xenoverse 3 they're going with Soul. So I don't know how they'll call Z Souls and Super Souls. Maybe they just won't be in this game, who knows? But it seems there is a heavy emphasis on the fact that we are the most important person in the world now. We, you know, channel the souls and spirits of other fighters through us, whether it be through the Soul Assist mechanic or through the Soul Change mechanic. So I have a theory that maybe you don't actually pick original character in this game. You pick your own character, and then you could just Soul Change it to any character you want, so long as you have it equipped. Or maybe in the character select, when a match starts, you Soul Change into your specific character. Because this is a really weird mechanic.
Yeah,
to
it would
introduce
be.
if you could
It
just
would be
play other
trash,
characters
but
normally.
you know.
So who knows? Maybe there's a unique mechanic to it that will only know when they actually give us the gameplay trailer. Because again, they gave us the screenshots before the trailer. Really weird, really weird. But at least it lets us speculate and figure things out.
Yeah, it's not a bad
So
idea.
guess
I
we
think
have
it's a
that
good
and
idea.
for that. Maybe they're just trying to build hype, and if that's their intention, it worked. So, yeah. But yeah, direct confirmation here. Hopefully none of you guys will ever doubt me ever again. I don't want to glaze myself and say I'm always right, but if you guys want very accurate predictions to everything Dragon Ball related, you're going to have to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell, because I've been saying Dragon Ball The Breakers is the original Xenoverse 3, and this mechanic just straight up fully confirms it. And the final thing, which is the thing I'm actually the most hyped for, finally, battle styles. Switch between battle styles and adapt to any situation. Each character has unique styles to master. Now again, if you could just play the original characters, you would obviously be able to just do that, hence the Soul Changer mechanic. But finally, we have unique fighting styles, specifically in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. On the right is Vegeta's
I'll be
fighting
right
style,
back.
and on the left is Trunks. And you can
right
see
back.
how it differs, specifically with the way Vegeta fights and the way Trunks fights. And yes, finally, again, it took 10 years, but we can finally fight with swords in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 as our main fighting style. Give it a round of applause, everyone. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, but we could finally fight with swords. It took ages, but finally we can be like our characters were in Dragon Ball Online, where we could just use anyone's fighting style, anyone's skills, and any type of weapons we wanted to. So again, obviously they're only showing Saiyans here. I do believe they will show the other races 100%, but guys, I want to remind you, every time they always tease Xenoverse games, they only show the Saiyans at first. They literally only show the other races like in like the last trailer. Now, it would be interesting to try and accommodate all of these different fighting styles specifically for different races, because again, Namekians are going to be taller, Margins are going to be fatter, some races will be smaller. So I'm very curious how this is actually going to look on the other races.
Graham crackers
But
have been
100%, this is a confirmed mechanic. We could change our fighting styles, so people are going to go crazy, and this is probably the best Dragon Ball game ever. I'm just going to say it right now. This is the best Dragon Ball game ever. The customization's better than ever. When you transform, your hair actually spikes up. You could turn and channel the power of the original characters through yourself, and you can customize your own unique fighting style with your own soul assist and your own skills with unique mechanics and beam clashes. Like, son, this is the best Dragon Ball game ever. What do you want me to say? It's going to be the best Dragon Ball game, and that's not cope, that's not glaze, that's just what we're seeing right now. Oh man, this is just so beautiful to see. As a long-time Xenoverse player, it's so beautiful to see all of this, man. It's just so nice. Again, I cannot wait for the actual gameplay trailer because we'll see even more there. Maybe we'll get a better description as to some of these things in the gameplay trailer, because I do want to point out again, these are very rough translations, but I say very rough. It's pretty accurate. It's very accurate. I shouldn't even say it's rough. It's very accurate, but the trailer would obviously tell us, because the trailer would be English dubbed. It would have a text from the official sources rather than, you know, all of us putting our collective knowledge together to try and figure this out. So I can't wait for the officials, because the officials obviously have even more information, especially from the trailers. But for now, I think that's a pretty solid place. And
They gotta
dude,
rip
I
the
wanna talk about
Band-Aid
this
off.
even more.
Can
I
we
actually want to
cus-
drag out the video so much more to talk about this. There are so many things I want
Like,
to mention
just
in
show
this
us the
when it comes to
CACs.
unique fighting styles, because again, we could channel any character's fighting style through ourselves. Also, I do want to point out one thing, because I did say I would point this out to you guys, so to my real Xenoverse 2 homies, and I'm gonna say this right now, guys, they kept the female character thickness. Don't worry. A lot of people were worried that because the art style was changing to skinnier Dragon Ball characters, the female characters wouldn't be thick anymore. But if you look at her thighs, she's thick as hell. Hell, if you look at John 1000, even he's looking like a brick house, dude. Dude is built. In the first trailers, he looked so skinny because of the new art style. But if you look at him in these screenshots, dude is huge, man. And this is probably medium weight too, because whenever they show these characters, the character's always medium weight. So if you guys want an even thicker custom character, don't worry, you can get thicker than this. I just wanted to point
Pre-order
out, because I
bonus?
did say
That'd be
I would mention it to you guys if I saw it, and here we go. I'm seeing it. I'm telling you. All right, but for real, I think that is a great place to end the video, man. Oh my god, I can't wait, because the trailers are going to show customization options too. It's going to show, it's probably going to show Super Saiyan 4 for custom characters, because Xenoverse 2's trailer showed Xenoverse Super Saiyan 3 for custom characters back.
What is the next event? Dark Shinobi. Dark Shinobi. Do we know the next event that's going on? Because San Diego Comic-Con is going to have a live stream. What's up? Next big live stream. Because the fact that they're revealing this means that we're probably going to get a trailer soon. Gamescom. Probably gonna see something there. PAX West. We need to see which ones are confirmed to be there. Gamescom August 26th to the 30th. Okay. That works. Oh, Tokyo Game Show in September. Right. Time to go laugh at Dark Souls 3 boss vid? Okay. Is there a certain vid I'm supposed to watch, or just all bosses? One sec? Okay.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Dillbobs here. Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Today we have some leaked upcoming abilities, some unreleased voice line interactions, and even more upcoming skins and their rarities to take a look at. So to start with, I found that there are some upcoming team-up abilities for Cyclops that aren't in the game just yet. And the first one is a team-up ability with Gambit. And it seems like this team-up will give Cyclops a new ability, or activating the ability will power up his normal set of abilities, because there are some voice lines for when Cyclops activates the ability in the game files.
Charged and ready! At full potential! Energy enhanced!
So if I had to take a guess, it seems like Gambit would be empowering Cyclops, giving him even more extra kinetic energy. Basically the same thing we saw with Rogue and Magneto. They get to deal extra damage and maybe even some potential healing. Imagine it making his beams purple. I think that would look so cool. But that's not the only X-Men team-up Cyclops is going to be getting.
It might be at the
There's
Game
also
Awards.
another upcoming team-up with Phoenix. Honestly, this is a team-up we were all expecting, and it is on the way, because just like the last one, we have voice lines for when the team-up with Phoenix is activated.
Cosmic beam! Force and fire! Phoenix blast!
And from those voice lines, it does seem like it will be some form of fire-enhanced ability. I want to hear your thoughts on what you think the team-up ability
scared
should
of that
be with
team-up.
Cyclops, Gambit, and Phoenix, because I'm sure you have some even cooler ideas than me. Now, also, in the game files, there are still new voice lines being added for an invincibility status effect. It's called Endure, and we've talked about this before. These are voice lines for when the heroes should become invincible, but now we already do have an invincibility effect in the game, and that is from White Fox's charm. However, when heroes are hit with the charm, they don't play a voice line at all. So it does seem like potentially there is another hero in the works that will be able to grant invincibility, because even all the latest new heroes have had these invincibility voice lines.
A fox with no fear. Unstoppable spirit.
Not taking any damage! Invincibility? I'll take it!
Nothing can hurt me. I'm untouchable.
And one of the guesses I have is that it could be for a Kitty Pryde ultimate, as by touching her allies she can make them intangible, allowing oncoming attacks to pass right through her. So I could see these voice lines
but we
being
do
attached
know
to a
one of the
Kitty Pryde ultimate
characters
when she's added to the game,
that's
or
a
maybe something else
confirmed
entirely. Now,
strategist
alongside these
is
unreleased
Jubilee.
voice lines teasing upcoming abilities, we also have a lot of Cyclops voice lines with the other heroes that aren't yet in the game, and that's because the other heroes' voice actors haven't had a chance to record the other half of the voice lines yet. But there are some really cool ones that we can take a listen to, and you can already figure out what the other hero is likely to say, and this includes voice lines with Phoenix. As you might be aware, in Season 8.5, Cyclops currently has no voice line interactions with Phoenix. And as I said, that will be because Jean Grey's voice actress wasn't available to record all the voice lines, and they've not been edited into the game just yet. So first, we have a pretty wholesome interaction.
Never, Jean. An entire universe couldn't keep us apart, no matter where life takes us. There's one thing I know for certain. We'll always find each other again.
Besides that, we also have Cyclops talking to the Phoenix Force herself, where he even mentions his time in the past where he was granted the power of the Phoenix Force, where he ultimately became the Dark Phoenix, which wasn't a good time.
Your bond with Jean is stronger than it's ever been before, Phoenix. And it almost broke me. I wasn't cut out to harness your power, but I have faith that Jean can do better.
Now, this interaction alone makes me want a Phoenix Force Cyclops skin even more. Now, X-Men fans will be happy to know that Cyclops is also getting voice line interactions with Storm, because that's another character who he doesn't currently have any voice lines with in the game. And first up, he's showing his gratitude to her for keeping Krakoa safe during the time stream entanglement.
What you did for our people while I was gone, Aurora, I can never thank you enough. I couldn't have steered an entire living island through a raging time storm and saved everyone. It all worked out.
There's also a pretty funny upcoming voice line where Cyclops learns that Storm and Black Panther are married in the Marvel Rivals universe, and that's because Storm and Black Panther actually come from separate timelines. And I believe in Cyclops' timeline, Storm was no longer with Black Panther, and I think this is actually because he died, and also in Black Panther's timeline, he was no longer with Storm either. But in Marvel Rivals, the two time-displaced characters were able to get married, and Cyclops' reaction is hilarious.
This must be hard for you, Aurora. I know how much T'Challa meant to you. Wait, did I miss something? Are you and the T'Challa of this empire teaming up, so to speak?
Next, he also has an upcoming voice line with Mantis where they seem to trauma bond, as they had both been held captive, Cyclops by Alchemax and Mantis by the Collector.
Alchemax was experimenting on you too? Nothing new there. Trauma is just part of being a mutant. I tap into it to keep the fight going.
Next, in the unreleased voice line with Doctor Strange, he asks him if he's able to erase events from someone's mind, like the pain of being tortured by Alchemax.
Can you use your magic to erase events from someone's mind, Steven? I've been having flashbacks ever since I escaped from Wait, really?
And to me, it sounds like Cyclops was shocked at the end that Steven said he actually could. And I think it would be awesome if Doctor Strange references him making everyone forget Spider-Man's identity, like in Spider-Man No Way Home or the Amazing Spider-Man comics. Now, for those interested, I'm going to play the rest of the unreleased voice lines of Cyclops talking to the other heroes, where the other halves haven't been recorded yet, because there's some more pretty cool ones in there.
Pure concussive force. Thanks for noticing. If you could, that would be one heck of a trick, and we would make one heck of a team. I wasn't there as a corporate spy, Tony. I was being held prisoner and tortured. Part of me really
trauma
hopes
bond,
you're kidding.
it
But
happens,
deep down,
bro.
I know you're not. Johnny Storm, try to keep the collateral damage to a minimum out there. I'm being serious. I've seen how undisciplined the Fantastic Four can be, especially you. The damage Ultron has done to Arakko is almost unfathomable. Think you can handle a renovation project of this scale, Eric? The other X-Men have nothing but good things to say about you, Cy.
Okay.
Well, until we can get you back to your own timeline, you've earned your spot here on our squad. I know. You were just trying to find a way back home. And in the end, you got us both here. No hard feelings. But if you want to make up for it, just remind your terrifying friend here that we're on the same team.
So yeah, Cyclops has even more pretty cool interactions on the way, and the mention of his time with the Phoenix Force definitely makes me think we're going to be getting a Phoenix Force Cyclops skin. Now, speaking of skins, we do have a new list of leaked skins that appear in the game files, and these are skins that the devs are working on. There's no time frame on when these are coming, but they're usually set within the next couple of seasons, and they tell us whether they're from a comic, original, or MCU skin. And this data also tells us what the rarities of the upcoming summer skins are in Season 8.5. So to go through the list that XOX Leak revealed for us, first up we have Daredevil's swimsuit skin, which should be a legendary. Alongside that, Doctor Strange's swimsuit skin looks like it comes with sound effects, so it's most likely legendary too. Next, Moon Knight is going to be getting a comic skin, and I think this will line up with Season 9, since Season 9 is going to see Apocalypse facing off with Khonshu, and I expect we'll be getting a Moon Knight costume then, and the fact that it references the comic means it's hopefully going to look pretty cool. After that, Adam Warlock is also going to be getting a new original costume soon. Then Scarlet Witch is getting an MCU skin, which leads me to believe it's the Age of Ultron outfit, since we're getting the Age of Ultron event.
Age of Ultron would make sense.
Next, Mantis is going to be getting another original skin. Next, White Fox should be getting a comic skin, which will be legendary with ult VFX. Also, Hulk is going to be getting a recolor. Now, I think potentially this could be a summer skin for him, as we did see this in the background background of the new beach map concept art, and Danny Koo, the executive producer, recently replied to someone on Twitter that did make it seem that there were even more summer skins coming besides the one on the roadmap. So I do think we're going to see wave 2 of the 2026 summer costumes, and the summer skins that have been announced so far isn't going to be all of them. Next up though, we have Magic getting another comic skin, which will be legendary with 2 recolors. Who could have guessed it? Now this will probably be in Season 9. We know Magic should be part of the lore in Season 9, given the fact that she's supporting Apocalypse as he tries to ascend to godhood, and she'll probably be one of the horsemen.
Magic
Spider-Man has a bunch of skins lined up. He's got 1 comic skin, 1 original skin, and then his swimsuit costume. Also, Emma Frost has a bunch more skins. She has her original swimsuit skin, another original costume, and another comic costume. After that, Psylocke's corporate raider costume that you can see in this gallery card is apparently going to be legendary with ultimate VFX. No surprises there. Then we have Gambit getting an original costume. Also, it looks like Rogue's Alchemax clone costume will also be a legendary with more ult VFX. Then Iron Man is getting a recolor and original skin. Thor is also getting a recolor. Jeff the Landshark is getting a blue recolor for his Incognito Dolphin skin and another new comic outfit. Squirrel Girl is getting a recolor and an original skin. Winter Soldier is also getting a recolor and an original skin. Venom will be getting another comic skin. Ultron will also be getting a comic skin and original skin. Now, the fact there's no MCU skin does surprise me, but that doesn't rule out that he won't get one. I'm pretty certain he is going to get an MCU skin in the Age of Ultron event. If not, that will be diabolical. Then Human Torch has an original skin lined up, Penny Parker has an original skin lined up, Luna Snow has her black and gold recolor and an original costume, Captain America is getting a movie skin along with a recolor and his summer skin.
Same here,
Rocket Raccoon is also going to be getting a movie skin. Now, these have been in the game files for a long time. Then Hela is getting 2 more original costumes. Groot is also getting another original costume. And Punisher is also getting another original costume. So a lot of skins in the game files. Also cool to know a lot of the rarities of the upcoming swimsuit skins. But let me know in the comments, which heroes do you want to get new skins? And that about wraps up this video. Also this week, we have a ton of events and the brand new social hub map and free units up for grabs in the game. So stay tuned on the channel for all the news regarding that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Okay, so let me look on your channel, Zach. Okay, got it. Just by completing missions is generous. Very generous. I like it though. Alright, doing good, doing good. Alright, nice dodge. Through that fireball. Okay, that one lands. Nice hit. He just goes into. I'm like, okay, this is a great bat. Oh, hey man, I'm out. Peace. That is crazy. He just vanishes like that. Yeah, he just said I don't want to fight you anymore for some reason. What you think Cap's movie skin is? Probably Age of Ultron? I feel like it's gonna be Endgame. I feel like he's gonna get an Endgame skin. They could give us daily missions like chrono tokens, but give us 100 units daily. I feel like it depend. It might depend, honestly. I'd save Endgame for when we get to the Endgame event. Yeah, I just feel like they'll save Cap skin for Endgame, personally. I would want Infinity War Thor to get a skin. Like I want Infinity War Thor, personally. At that spot specifically helped him glitch through the terrain thanks to the NPC summon. Getting stuck in between a root and then the giant coffin. Yeah. Okay, so unfortunately, I am gonna have to go soon, but I can. If they did that, I love them forever. Just a way to rack up points would be nice. Yeah, okay, so today we talked about a lot. Next thing is I'm gonna take another break and then come back streaming either Wuthering Waves or playing some Marvel Rivals. One of those. So for now, let me just find a good song to end it on. Yeah, we'll do this. So with that being said, and again, gonna take a small break and then come back with either Wuthering Waves or Marvel Rivals. So with that being said, thank you all. Hope you all have a good rest of your day or night, whatever time zone. And until a few minutes later, or like an hour or so later, have a good one. Peace out. Wait for it. And now.